Hello guys, today I'm going to be doing my first Q&A on this channel with this beautiful backdrop here. I've come down to a local, I'm not quite sure what to call it. I think it's an offshoot of the river. The sun's out, it's like 8 degrees, so it's still pretty chilly. Anyway, let's get on with the Q&A. I got like over 300 questions. If I don't get to yours, I'm really sorry, but
I hope that you can forgive me. You have to forgive me.
there was a lot that were kind of similar, so a lot of the questions that were asked I can answer by answering just one of your guys' questions. Make sure you watch till the end because I'm going to be giving away something pretty cool. I'm going to be giving away a camera. Stay tuned to the end of the video to learn how you can enter the competition to win your own camera. First question from Toby. What advice can you give reminiscing jet lag, reducing the risk of food poisoning, and how best to deal with it? And if I get food poisoning, or am I just lucky enough to have a cast iron constitution? Well, that's a very well worded question, Toby. Thank you. To be honest, I don't really have any advice or anything. I just kind of run myself into the ground and then die of sleep deprivation and pass out for a few hours and then do it again, I guess. Drink heaps of water in the plane, even if you have to be that annoying guy that has to get up every 5 seconds to go to the toilet. It's so worth it just to stay hydrated, and also like get up and do some stretches on the plane. It'll make a world of difference. And as far as my stomach with eating foreign food, fingers crossed, I am pretty lucky. I can pretty much eat anything I want, you know, within reason.
This is maggoty cheese.
I did get sick in India. You might have seen that video maybe about a year ago. I got pretty sick in India. Had to go to hospital and almost died, I guess, but I didn't.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Next question from Raffia467. While you are traveling, what do you miss the most about home? I miss obviously family and friends. I miss the nature because of New Zealand's nature. I miss that a lot. And I miss being able to like exercise regularly in routine and eat like healthy food is probably a big one. Constantly eat healthy food, because when traveling, you know, your diet's up and down and up and down, and it's hard sometimes to find healthy food. I mean, if you really want to, you can always, you know, eat fruit and certain things, but yeah, that's probably the things that I miss most about home.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job.
Email Okasha asks, what did you study in college? What work do you do when you are not traveling? I didn't go to college per se. I did, in New Zealand we call them apprenticeships, and it's basically when you study a trade or something, and I studied horticulture, which is plants. That was what the job I did, and that's how I saved a lot of the money to go traveling. Then after that I was a tour guide, a cave tour guide, and a barista.
I'm only smiling because my face muscles are so full of caffeine that if I relax them, my heart might explode.
Those are my jobs.
Work sucks, I know.
What work do I do when I'm not traveling? Well, I'm pretty much at the stage of always traveling, so I guess my work is traveling. I don't know. Geo Travels asks, how did it feel at first to be in front of the camera? Did it take a long time to get comfortable? Yeah, if you go back to a video that's one of my first videos and it's called My First Vlog, on the thumbnail I think it says, you can see I'm saying like this is intimidating, but basically what you have to do is you just have to keep doing it. It was uncomfortable and it still is, like in crowds, but the hardest part is to basically turn the camera on and then look into the lens, and then once you're in the lens just lock everything out, apart from traffic, don't get run over, just talk, and it's just, you just got to keep doing it.
When I grow up, I'll be stable.
Space Hobo asks, seeing as you seem to be shaking hands everywhere you go, unlike Bill Clinton,
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
have you ever considered entering politics? I remember when I first read this question, it made me laugh. Maybe one day I'll become a politician, but I don't think so. It's not really my scene.
Backpack, backpack, backpack.
Naughty State 23. How do you prepare for each trip and country? What do you pack? To be honest with you, I'm really unorganized, and I literally pack sometimes on the day of the flight, basically all the time on the day of the flight. I just grab everything and just throw it in my bag. I really don't have that much stuff now because I've been away from home for like a year and a half maybe, so I know like basically exactly what I need is like my camera and my laptop and some clothes, and that's basically it, I guess.
What? Cover charge.
Hit the club.
Buck Images, which is Laura. What new camera and lens did you get? Well, Laura, I got a Sony a6300, I got a Zeiss 16-70, and I'm super stoked with them. You can see now the video quality is pretty good, and I can shoot slow motion, film in low light, so I'm really happy. And Laura actually takes really cool photos, so you should go follow her on Instagram, l.buckimages. Super cool landscape photography of New Zealand. Jasmine Tasker asks, could you do a video about how you grew your channel partnering with companies? After watching, it seems like they're just great videos, super authentic, and people just wanted to follow, but wondering your opinion. Love your videos, by the way. Also, what gave you the push to travel full time? I've got a little bit of advice for making YouTube videos, and I'm no expert or anything, pretty new to this whole thing, but I would say to just make heaps of videos and just keep traveling and keep practicing and just keep pushing. Try to form something that's unique and a bit different. As far as like partnering with companies, the best thing is when companies come to you, because when companies come to you, then the ball's kind of in your court, you know what I mean? If you're going to companies, then the ball's in their court. So I wouldn't worry about companies and all this kind of stuff anyway. I mean, the most important thing is to do it for fun, and then if you want to turn that into a job, then you're very lucky, and just keep pushing is all I can say, you know, just go for it, I'd say. As far as what gave me the push to travel, I've kind of traveled a lot during my life on other trips, and to travel full time is something amazing, you know? Every day, something brand new. How cool is that? In my view, that's super cool. Obviously, you do get burnt out and you need to come back and recover and everything, but it's super cool to just, you know, see new cultures, meet new people every day. I love it. But even if I stay in a place for a short time, I've got this kind of thing inside me where I want to keep going, you know? So that was kind of what gave me the push. I wanted more excitement in my life. But even saying something that you could look back on, I mean, that's still kind of an end goal. I like to think of traveling as something that's always there, you know what I mean? And you're in it.
Just want to stay in it.
Angus Reed. Angus has been following my videos since I had like 200 subscribers or something, so thank you, Angus. Angus asks, what would you say has been the most challenging aspect of solo traveling? At the start, probably was putting yourself out there, going up to new people. Going into, let's say, a bar by yourself is like such a weird concept, and just going up to people and, you know, striking up a conversation. That was something that, you know, most people would never think about doing in their own city. Well, I wouldn't, at least. And then if you go to a place that you know nothing about and you just walk into a bar or something and try to strike up a conversation, that was probably the most challenging. But again, the more you do it, the easier it gets. I mean, it depends on you as a person.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
And here's a question that I got a lot. How do you afford your travels? I saved up a lot of money to begin with. Then I went back to New Zealand and worked a little more and went traveling again and started YouTube. I had, you know, a good lump of money to keep me going for a while. Basically now the YouTube is almost covering me at the moment. Big thank you to my patrons. They're helping me huge amounts, and a bit from the ad revenue at the moment on YouTube. And then obviously I've been working with a few brands lately, which has been helping me out a lot as well. There's a whole heap of other ways that you can make money online as well, like Amazon affiliate linking and heaps of stuff like that. So right now that's basically how I'm affording my travels. We'll see how that goes in the future. I'm hoping that I'll be lucky enough that I can keep this going. We'll see how it goes. So there's my answer to all the questions about how do I afford my travels. Zafar Lim Ansuri says, it's not a question, it's a statement, and he says, please visit Pakistan. It's on the cards very shortly. Stay tuned for that.
Money, money, money. Must be funny in the rich man's world.
Elliot Moose asks, being an authentic budget traveler, if you had more money, what would you do differently? Would your style of travel change or not, and how? Good question. If things were to change financially, I would say probably the things that I would change the most would maybe like step up the transport that I take maybe a bit. For example, if a bus was cheaper than a train, so I'd take the bus. Then if I had more money, then I'd probably take the train. And then if I was on a sleeper train, then I'd probably go for like maybe second class instead of third class. Just little things like that, I think that would change. And maybe some of the accommodation that I stay in is pretty sketchy when I'm staying in a hostel for like $2 a night, so I might step that up a bit, but you never know. But the general style of travel I do not think would change, because I love just walking around and, you know, meeting local people. I wouldn't like put a barrier between me and the kind of real people of a country. I don't think that would change, because I think that's why I personally travel.
I'm Mr. Lonely.
Discovering Tar asks, do you get lonely while traveling? If so, how do you combat it? I actually don't get lonely at all really when I'm traveling. I don't know, there's just so many people to meet, and me personally, I'm pretty happy with my own space also. So the combination of those two things, and now I've been doing it for so long, it's kind of a way of life, maybe at the beginning, but then you find ways to combat that. You can go and meet people everywhere, you know, local people or other travelers if you really want to. Once you learn how to do it, it's a lot easier than it looks.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
The Project Diamond asks, awesome content Nick, as always, thank you. No, thank you for watching. My question is, do you ever get more than 2 hours sleep? Yeah, I do. When I'm daily vlogging, which is what I've been doing when I've been on my trips. Sometimes I don't get to bed until like 6 AM and then I'll get up at like 12 and then go film. But that's on a very rare case. I try to get to bed by like, I'm super stoked if I can get to bed by midnight after editing. That's like a really good day. So Azia asks, what suggestions do you have for those traveling on a budget? Also, any advice for solo female travelers would be great. You have inspired me heaps. Thanks for what you do. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. I would say advice for traveling on a budget is obviously just keep your costs to a minimum. That's all I can really tell you. Save up money and then you can really make it last. And a lot of people think that traveling's expensive, but it really isn't. You can live cheaper traveling than you can probably in your hometown if you're renting a house, if you're traveling to cheaper countries. Advice for solo female travelers, I would say that I've met a lot of solo female travelers. I met a girl a while ago that was 18 and she traveled through places like India and Turkey, which are the last places you'd think that a solo female traveler would go. But basically she just said, you know, you use your common sense, you know, don't be walking around in the dark and don't go to certain crowded spots and things, you know. Common sense can go a long way. I look up some vlogs of solo female travelers or YouTube videos, but that's my kind of general advice anyway. Rikav or Beck asks, what's the craziest thing you have done so far in your travels, and also what are your top 5 must visit places at the moment, as in the ones that you're hoping to visit in the future? The craziest thing I've done or had to do, I don't know, it's a hard one. The craziest kind of trip I say I could make was motorbiking Vietnam, because that's like putting your life on the line every single day. Motorbiked from the north to the south of Vietnam, and those are actually my first vlogs on this channel, so go back and look, but be careful, the quality is really not the best, but they're okay to give you a general idea of how the trip was. The top 5 places that I want to visit, if I told you that, I would probably have to kill you.
You see, my identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
Why not?
Because I would then have to kill you.
So it's best for your safety. You just stay tuned and see what I come up with. I'm going to give you a general clue and say Central to East Asia.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom.
Boy in a Backpack asks, what is your goal with your YouTube channel? The goal with the YouTube channel is just to kind of show the world and show those that don't travel to not consume mainstream media to the point that it affects you and your view on the world. I think that the world is a great place and there's so much positivity out there, and if you're focusing on the media too much, then it really paints a terrible picture of the place. The goal is to kind of show people that people from all backgrounds and religions are nice people. Jade Snaps asks, Nick, you seem so comfortable in places where many wouldn't. Is there anywhere you felt uncomfortable or unsafe? I think I'm at a point now where I feel like there's not much point in feeling uncomfortable. Just gotta like stay calm and go with it, I guess. It's the best way to look at it. George NRW asks, would you like to take a time machine to fly back to the 70s or 80s and explore the world without using internet, which makes traveling much easier? So imagine booking flights only at a local travel agency, sending postcards, making analog pics and videos, getting lost in a foreign country, going to islands and places where a tourist has never been before. Yes, I've thought about that a lot of the time. Obviously right now I need the internet for everything I'm doing, but I think it would be amazing. Imagine going to a place like Varanasi in India or some place like that's already so rich in culture, but just being fully submerged in that culture, I think it would be epic. So yeah, I would love to try that out for a short period, I think. Dimitri KV asks, what was your favorite thing about Georgia? The people and the nature. Well, they're 2 things. Faradin Mubin asks, Bangladesh, miss you boss, love you so much. When will you come again to Bangladesh? I will be coming again next year, man. Stay tuned.
When
opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted.
Forever Loading 22. This one might be a little personal, but I was curious, is traveling a hobby or is it a profession? I guess it's both, which is pretty amazing to think about, so I consider myself very lucky. Mylon asks, I noticed that when someone randomly walks up to you when you are filming, you would chin up and you lock eyes. You make time and you never seem bothered. Are you always this easygoing in these kind of situations? If yes, why? It's important for the viewers to understand. I think I'm just really comfortable meeting new people by this stage, and it's super cool to like capture those interactions because it's so funny taking people from completely different backgrounds and putting them together and seeing what result you can have. Yeah, I feel very comfortable doing it. I really enjoy it. Also, Mylon's daughter, Vida, wants to know if I like Jello. I'm not actually sure what Jello is, so I can't answer that question, sorry. Hello Shaha asks, hi Nicholas, I would love to know how you came up with the title Indigo Traveller. Yeah, what time's your class? I came across it on a video once about like an indigo state of mind, and it's really quite interesting. If you look up indigo in Urban Dictionary, I think there's a lot of answers there for the meaning behind indigo. There's many different interpretations of the word indigo, not just the colour. Since you are in countries where most people don't use toilet paper, have you ever faced a situation where there is no toilet paper? If yes, then how do you manage and what's your feeling after that? My feeling about that is I've been doing it for so long that I'm just used to it. So that's my answer.
So you wanna be hardcore with your hat to the back.
Story with my signature hat, Eric 11 Carter asks. I bought this hat in Poland by the beach, and I just really like it because it actually came like weathered. It came with all these marks and everything on it. It's an old kind of worn out hat, and I don't know, I just like it. Clueless Backpacker asks, hi Nick, before I jump into the questions, I want to tell you that you are my favourite YouTuber, and please keep up the good work, thank you. What made you go back to that small village in Nepal with food and supplies after the earthquake? Because the first reaction for anyone, especially a foreigner, after such an experience would be to thank your lucky stars and just get out of that place. Instead you went back to hell. What are you? I don't know, I'm just a normal guy I guess, like you. I went back because it wouldn't feel right to not go back. And for anyone that doesn't know the story, then you can look up a video on my channel called I Was in a Huge Earthquake in Nepal to explain that whole story. He also asks, any plans of coming back to NZ? Would love to meet you. Yes, I'm hoping to go back to New Zealand next year, so follow my videos and then you'll know more like when I'm coming back to New Zealand, and maybe we can hang out or something. Next time when you come to Bangladesh, you're invited to my home. It's in Tongi near Uttara. Love your videos. Thanks man, appreciate the invite. PNM asks, do I have a drone? No, I don't have a drone. Not at the moment. Maybe one day. I can't actually afford it at the moment. Greenland 1982 asks, you made a passionate video about racism and homophobia. In future, will you be put off countries that may have distractful laws such as homosexuality being illegal? How does such local laws influence your travel, if they do at all? They don't impact my travel. I just have to be more careful in certain things that I say, especially on the internet, and it will not stop me from going to those countries, because I think if you just write it off and not go, then you're basically enabling it and you're just leaving it to, you know, do its thing. I think if you go there and try and show the good of that country, when you can say something, say it, and maybe that'll help change how people feel. But I think it's not a good thing to just abandon the idea of going somewhere because you don't like an aspect of it. That's not really a good idea. Michelle says, the first video I saw of yours was from Ukraine. I'm very well travelled, but am yet to visit there. It is also high on my list. What made you choose Ukraine? Do you think because it's less known in the world of tourism? Are the people open and friendly? I chose to go to Ukraine because Ukraine fascinates me, and I've already been there 2 times, and I might be going back. There's a little clue for you. The people are extremely friendly, open, and I just love that kind of Eastern Europe rawness, you know, I love it. Last question before the giveaway, guys. I just really feel guilty when I don't answer questions, so I tried to answer as many as I could without making this video like 3 hours long, so I'm so sorry if I missed any.
I don't do too well with apologies.
I'll do more of these Q&As. Let me know if there's something you want to see. I'll answer this last question, then we'll get to the giveaway. Wanderlust Pockets asked, would you rather explore space or explore the sea and oceans? Would you rather be transported permanently 500 years in the past or 5,000 years in the future? I would probably rather explore space because I've already kind of explored some of the oceans and it's an easy option right now, and space isn't, so space would be epic. NASA, if you're watching, add me to your next project. We'll work out a deal. I'm gonna say 5,000 years in the future. It would be super scary either way. 500 years in the past, I don't really think I could adapt to that kind of society, and I have no idea what 5,000 years in the future would be like, so that's my answer. Alright guys, and now for the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away this camera, which I actually reviewed this camera in the last video. This company was nice enough to send me 2 of these guys. This video is not sponsored at all though, they just gave me 2 and I thought, you know, why not give one away to you guys to say thank you and everything for watching. This is a super cool little tool of a camera. Check out the last video if you want to know more about it. Basically like a GoPro, it shoots in 4K. I've also got one of these and I'm going to be using it in my videos. I'll also put a little handwritten card in the box with the camera as well, personally from me. If you want to win this guy, it's quite easy to enter. You just have to be subscribed to this YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, share your favorite video of mine on Facebook, and then lastly follow my Instagram and comment under this photo and tell me why you think that you should win this camera. I will announce the winner on Instagram on the 14th of December, so you've still got almost a week to think of a really good answer to write, but best get your entries in earlier than later. Good luck for the giveaway guys, and I also hope that you really enjoyed this video. The sun's gone down, I am freezing. Thanks for all the support from you guys, it's incredible. The channel is growing super rapidly and it means a lot. The next video we're going to be going on an adventure to another country, so the regular vlogs are going to start again, so get ready. Another shout out to all my Patreons, you guys are absolute legends. You're helping keep all this possible. If you haven't sent me in your address yet, because some of the email addresses on Patreon didn't work so I couldn't get all of your addresses, send me your home address to the email address below and I'll send out the cards once I get back from the trip, but the addresses that I've already got I'll send out tomorrow. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. It's very cold now. Goodbye guys, thank you.